What if the greatest aviation mystery is closer to being solved than ever before? Amelia Earhart, a trailblazer who defied the skies, vanished in 1937, leaving a legacy of courage and countless questions. Today, new expeditions fuel hope for answers. What happened to her? Join us to uncover her extraordinary life and the secrets of her final flight. What if the greatest mystery in aviation history is finally unraveling? In 1937, Amelia Earhart vanished over the Pacific, her plane swallowed by the vast ocean, leaving the world grasping for answers. Nearly a century later, in 2024, sonar images from a deep-sea expedition hint at a breakthrough. Though the truth remains elusive, who was the woman behind this enigma, and what drove her to conquer the skies? Let's journey back to the beginning to uncover the roots of Amelia Earhart's legend. Picture a small town in Kansas, where a girl named Amelia Mary Earhart came into the world on July 24th, 1897. Born in her grandfather's stately home in Atchison, she was raised in a family that prized independence. Her mother, Amy, rejected the idea of molding her daughters into delicate ladies, encouraging Amelia to explore and question. From the start, Amelia was a spark of curiosity, a child who saw adventure in every corner. But what shaped this fearless spirit into a pioneer? As a young girl, Amelia was unlike her peers. While others played with dolls, she scaled trees, aimed a .22 rifle, and, with her uncle's help, built a rickety roller coaster in her backyard. That first ride, a makeshift plunge, thrilled her, whispering of heights she'd one day chase. Her childhood was a canvas of exploration, but shadows loomed. Her father, Edwin, battled alcoholism, unraveling the family's stability. By 1914, his job loss and her grandmother's death left their finances in a trust, guarded from his struggles. How did these hardships forge the woman who defied the odds? Despite the chaos, Amelia's ambition burned bright. She devoured books in the family library and excelled in science, collecting clippings of women thriving in fields like law and engineering. In 1915, after moving to Chicago, she chose Hyde Park High School for its superior science program, graduating in 1916 with dreams too big for any classroom. Her path wasn't linear. She briefly attended junior college in Pennsylvania, but left to follow a calling that was still taking shape. What would spark the fire that led her to the skies? The answer came during World War I, when Amelia visited her sister in Toronto. Volunteering as a nurse's aide at Spadina Military Hospital, she tended to wounded soldiers and listened to pilots recount their daring flights. Their stories of courage stirred something deep within her, planting the seed of aviation. In 1920, at a Toronto air show, a World War I ace dove toward her and a friend, testing their nerve. Amelia stood firm, later saying the red plane spoke to her as it roared past. Was this the moment her destiny took flight? That same year, on December 28, 1920, in Long Beach, California, Amelia took her first flight with pilot Frank Hawks. For $10, she soared above the earth, and at 300 feet, she knew flying was her calling. Determined to master the skies, she began lessons with Nita Snook, a trailblazing female aviator, on January 3, 1921, at Kinnerfield. Aviation in the 1920s was a man's world, rife with skepticism toward women like Amelia. Yet she persisted, working as a photographer, truck driver, and stenographer to fund her $1,000 lessons. Why did she risk everything for such a perilous dream? Amelia's grit was relentless. She trekked 4 miles daily to the airfield, cropped her hair to match other female flyers, and bought a leather coat she aged with oil stains to blend in. In mid-1921, she purchased a second-hand Kinner Airster biplane, dubbed the Canary for its vibrant yellow hue. On October 22, 1922, she piloted it to 14,000 feet, setting a world altitude record for women. By May 16, 1923, she became the 16th woman in the U.S. to earn a pilot's license from the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. How did this small-town dreamer rise so high? Her talent caught the eye of publisher George P. Putnam, who saw star potential in her charisma and courage. In 1928, he invited her to join a transatlantic flight as a passenger aboard the Fokker F-7B 3M Friendship. with pilot Wilmer Stultz and mechanic Lou Gordon. On June 17th, they lifted off from Newfoundland, bound for history. After a grueling 20-hour flight, they landed in Buryport, Wales, on June 18, 1928. Amelia, humble about her role, was hailed as Lady Lindy, a nod to Charles Lindbergh. What did this moment mean for a woman who'd already defied the odds? Back in the U.S., ticker tape parades greeted her, and she met President Calvin Coolidge. Overnight, Amelia became a global icon, using her fame to champion aviation and women's rights. In her words, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself," a mantra that fueled her daring flights. But this triumph was just the start. Her next adventures would push boundaries further and lead to a mystery that still haunts us. What if the woman who dared to fly across oceans held secrets even greater than her legendary journeys? In Part 1, we trace Amelia Earhart's rise from a curious Kansas girl to a global icon, her spirit unbroken by challenges. Now, as we continue her story, we uncover the heights of her ambition and the depths of her mystery. This is Part 2, where triumph meets tragedy, and the world's fascination with Amelia Earhart only grows. On June 17, 1928, Amelia embarked on a flight that would change her life forever. Aboard the Friendship, a Fokker F-7B 3M, she wasn't the controls but held the title of commander, a role that gave her authority over all decisions. After 3 failed takeoff attempts in East Boston, the crew shed weight, unloading fuel and a backup pilot, before soaring from Newfoundland. Storms and mechanical woes plagued the 20-hour flight, yet they landed safely in Buryport, Wales, greeted by thousands. Amelia, ever humble, called herself just baggage in her book 20 Hours, 40 Minutes. But the world saw a hero. Why did she downplay her role in this historic moment? For years later, on May 20th, 1932, Amelia made history on her own terms. Taking off from Harbor Grace, Newfoundland, in her Lockheed Vega 5B, she aimed to be the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. After nearly 15 hours battling turbulent skies, she touched down in a Northern Ireland pasture, covering 2,000 miles. This feat earned her the Distinguished Flying Cross, a first for a woman, and the nickname Lady Lindy. Her words, "Women must try to do things as men have tried," inspired millions. What drove her to keep pushing boundaries? Amelia's ambition soared higher. In 1935, she became the first person to fly solo from Honolulu to Oakland, a 2,400-mile Pacific trek, and later flew nonstop from Los Angeles to Newark in 18 hours. Beyond records, she championed equality, co-founding the 99s to support female pilots. Her advocacy reshaped aviation's gender norms, proving women could excel in any field. But could she conquer the ultimate challenge? A flight around the globe? In 1937, Amelia set out on her boldest quest to circle the world. On June 1st, she and navigator Fred Noonan departed Miami in a Lockheed Electra 10E heading east. They crossed South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, battling unpredictable weather and unfamiliar airstrips. On July 2nd, they left New Guinea for Howland Island, a tiny Pacific refueling stop. Radio contact with the USS Itasca grew erratic, and at 8:43 a.m., Amelia's last message reported low fuel and no sight of the island. Then silence. What happened to the woman who defied the skies? The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard launched a massive search, scouring 250,000 square miles of ocean, but no trace of Amelia or Fred was found. Theories multiplied. Did they crash at sea, land on a remote island, or face a darker fate? Some whisper she was a U.S. spy, gathering intelligence on Japanese forces, fueled by her ties to President Roosevelt and her route near Japanese-controlled islands. No evidence supports this, but the idea persists. In 2024, deep-sea vision sonar images hinted at possible wreckage near Howland, though experts remain skeptical. Will this clue finally unravel the mystery? Amelia's story is a blend of triumph and enigma, her courage inspiring generations. What if Amelia Earhart's final flight hid secrets far beyond a quest for glory? In Part 2, we trace her soaring triumphs and the haunting silence of her 1937 disappearance. We unravel the theories, chase fleeting clues, and celebrate a legacy that still lights the way for dreamers everywhere. The mystery of Amelia's fate has sparked endless speculation. Some believe she was more than a pilot, perhaps a covert operative for the U.S. government, gathering intelligence on Japanese forces in the Pacific. Her ties to President Franklin D. Roosevelt and her flight path near Japanese-controlled islands fuel this theory. Whispers suggest she crash-landed in the Marshall Islands, was captured, and later returned to America under a new identity. Could her journey have been a mission cloaked in adventure? Yet, no evidence confirms these claims, leaving them as tantalizing shadows in her story. Another theory paints a stranger picture. In 1970, Joe Kloss's book Amelia Earhart Lives proposed she survived, living as Irene Bolam, a New Jersey woman who mirrored Amelia's features. Bolam fiercely rejected the idea, taking legal action against its proponents. Despite no solid proof, the notion persists, captivating those who wonder if Amelia chose to vanish into a quiet life. Did she trade her wings for anonymity? Or is this just another layer of the enigma? Clues from Nikumaroro, once called Gardner Island, offer more tangible thread. In 1940, British settlers found human bones, a woman's shoe, a bottle, and a sextant box on this remote Pacific atoll. These discoveries sparked hope that Amelia and Fred Noonan survived as castaways, battling the island's harsh terrain and coconut crabs. But the bones were lost before identification, leaving this lead as elusive as the horizon. Could Nikumaroro hold the secret to their final days? Amelia Earhart's story continues to hold the world in its grip, a blend of daring triumphs and an enigma that refuses to fade. In 2024, hope surged when Deep Sea Vision unveiled sonar images from 16,000 feet beneath the Pacific, near Howland Island, suggesting they found her Lockheed Electra. The shape sparked global excitement, with marine archaeologists and historians analyzing every pixel. But by November 2024, the truth emerged. It was merely a rock formation, as reported by CNN and CBS News. Her achievements as a pioneering aviator are a cornerstone of her allure. In 1932, Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, a 14-hour, 56-minute journey from Newfoundland to Northern Ireland in her Lockheed Vega 5B. This feat earned her the Distinguished Flying Cross, a first for a woman, and the nickname Lady Lindy, as noted in History.com. She didn't stop there. In 1935, she flew solo from Honolulu to Oakland, a 2,400-mile Pacific trek, and later crossed the U.S. nonstop from Los Angeles to Newark. These records showcase her skill and courage, challenging the era's gender norms. Her mantra, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself," from her book The Fun of It, became a rallying cry for dreamers, as cited in Brainy quote. The unresolved mystery of her disappearance fuels relentless fascination. On July 2, 1937, Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan vanished near Howland Island during their attempt to circle the globe. Despite a massive search covering 250,000 square miles, no trace was found. Earhart's cultural impact amplifies her enduring appeal. As a feminist icon, she reshaped aviation's landscape, co-founding the 1990s to support female pilots. As detailed by the National Women's History Museum, her influence inspired the Women Air Force Service pilots during World War II, and her legacy lives on through the Amelia Earhart Birthplace Museum and the annual Atchison Festival, per History.com. Tributes, like Hillary Clinton's 2012 recognition of her U.S. Pacific ties and Flying Magazine's 2013 ranking as the 9th hero of aviation, underscore her global resonance. Her relatable human spirit adds a universal draw. Born in 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, Earhart's childhood was marked by adventure, building a roller coaster at 7. As noted in Time for Kids, her determination to fund flying lessons through jobs like photography and truck driving, for Smithsonian Magazine, mirrors the struggles of anyone chasing a dream. This human element makes her story accessible, connecting with audiences who see their own aspirations in her courage. Her legacy endures through tributes like the Amelia Earhart Birthplace Museum in Atchison, Kansas, run by the 99s, where she served as president. The annual Amelia Earhart Festival, held since 1996, celebrates her spirit. In 2012, Hillary Clinton honored her impact on U.S. Pacific ties, and Flying magazine named her the 9th hero of aviation in 2013. Amelia's charisma and determination made her a feminist icon, inspiring the women Air Force service pilots during World War II and countless others since. Amelia's wealth wasn't in luxury, but in purpose. She owned no lavish cars or watches, living modestly in homes like her Encino, California, residence. Her Lockheed Vega and Electra were tools of exploration, not status. Earnings from books and lectures funded her flights, while endorsements, like her 1930s luggage line, supported her passion. Likely insured for health and travel, she prioritized adventure over accumulation. Her lesson: true wealth lies in chasing dreams that inspire others. Amelia Earhart's journey was a soaring testament to courage and defiance, breaking barriers as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Her 1937 disappearance over the Pacific left a mystery that still captivates us, with theories of espionage, survival, or a hidden life swirling like clouds. Recent expeditions, like the 2025 Nkomoro search, fuel hope for answers, yet her fate remains elusive. Beyond the enigma, Amelia's legacy as a feminist icon and aviation pioneer inspires dreamers worldwide. Her mantra, "Adventure is worthwhile in itself," urges us to chase the impossible. What do you think became of her? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if her story moved you, give a like and subscribe for more tales of fearless pioneers. Her wings still lift us toward the stars.